Hello everyone, welcome to my Star Wars The Last Jedi review. Now, if you guys have not seen the movie, please, this is spoiler warning. I will be going over the movie entirely and giving you my thoughts and views on the movie. And I will be going over a lot of stuff spoiler related in the movie. So if you guys have not seen it, if you guys wish to not hear a word I said until after you've seen it, please pause the movie, save it, add it to like a playlist of watch later, and come back after the movie and then watch it. So I got pretty good points lined up for this, so you guys have been warned. Now, The Last Jedi, I kind of liked it and didn't like it. What we're going to go over is a lot of points. First, we're going to be talking about the Porg situation. Second, we're going to be talking about why people wouldn't like Star Wars either way and why they're trying to stick with the formula of the original with some twist. Then we're going to go over the Resistance side of the story, meaning Leia, Poe, and the whole casino thing. We're going to be going over that. Then we're going to be going over Luke and Rey's and Snoke's and Kylo's story. Then we're going to be coming back all together for, you guess it, thinking and prophesizing what the next episode's going to be. So before I start, I do want to take a note that I do believe maybe J.J. Abrams lied a little bit about episode 8. Because when he read this, he said he wasn't going to do any other Star Wars movie. Episode 7 was it. When he read the script for 8, he said, I wished I'd done 8. He kept saying it was so good, and it's really good. I wish I'd done 8. So then what does that mean? Well, who knows? But he wanted to come back for... after he read the script. I mean, this is after he read it. The movie wasn't even started yet. I mean, this is after he read the script. He wanted to be back on 9. Why? Why would he want to be back on 9? It was so good. Why would he want to do 9? Because J.J. Abrams, like most people said, set him up. And this is probably what happened. Set him up. And when he had the idea of 8, and when he read the script, he's going, this does not match with mine. I don't like this. I'll say it's good so people go watch it. So that way, when I direct 9, I will go watch it. But that's my thought on the process. I do believe J.J. Abrams will right the wrongs and everything of 9. So, let's move on. The Porg situation. Okay? The Porg situation. You got... everyone is feeding too much into the Porg situation. There's 2 obvious reasons why the Porgs were developed. Now, let's go back to the prequels, okay? Or let's go back to the original and the prequels. The originals really had a sub-point of R2-D2. And the Jawas, they were cutesy-wootsy, you know. R2-D2 was cute on the side of the beeps and his emotion and stuff, and him being a little droid, you know. And then you had the Jawas that were kind of, and the Ewoks, you know. The Ewoks were a big selling point. You know, in A New Hope, you had R2-D2, and possibly Jawas, and Chewbacca, the cute sell point. Empire Strikes Back, you had the little Tauntauns, or the what you call it? Yeah, you had the Tauntauns and everything else. Well, then the Return of Jedi comes around. Then they introduced the Ewoks. Anything kinda that's like fuzzy or small or cutesy wootsy in that way, they're gonna bring in, no matter what anybody says, because 1, it is a catch. It catches your eye. You know, you're like, oh my god, that's so awesome. And you have girls going, oh my god, it's so cute. You know, And yeah, of course you have guys like, dude, it's so badass. He's small, but then, he kicks ass, So then you go back to the prequels. The prequels were many things. Anakin, of course, being a kid in the first one, and then Jar Jar Binks, C-3PO and R2-D2 again. The other ones were kind of like, they kind of stuck, but then you had, Jar Jar was kind of toned down because he was a senator. It more focused on story related, which I loved. Focus on Anakin and Obi-Wan, the Senate, Yoda. Well, you had Yoda too. Yoda's like small and badassery. So when you go to the new trilogy, you go to Force Awakens, what did they introduce that was small and cutesy wootsy that everybody went gaga over? BB-8. BB-8 was small, cutesy wootsy. It was a round ball, and he had the droid head and it like moved around. It was an awesome idea, and it uses current existing technology, which is pretty badass. But they're going for the cute factor, and why do they do that? Well, it's a sell point. You pick out something that stands out in Star Wars, okay? Star Wars is a massive universe. People want to go there to see either Han Solo story, the Jedi story, Luke story, Leia story. They want to go there to see that shit. They don't want to go there to see all the other shit. The political stuff that's going on. But then you're like, I don't want to get people bored, so I'm going to introduce this cutesy wootsy character to get people a little interested. Something picks down a little bit, and it pops up that character, and it's like, So it kind of stands out. The Porgs stand out so much in this movie. You hear them all the time. You see them almost all the time. It was a sell standpoint. Also, the Porgs are a standpoint of them being on an island, okay? This island has birds that are like, if they would have left the birds in the shots, people would pick out, oh, that's not a different planet. That's planet Earth. There's that bird. That's only there for that island. So what happened was them going, okay, we have to do something about this, and they made up the Porg, which solves two problems: the cutesy wootsy factor of selling stuff, and the other factor of the birds. So they're like, cool, kill two birds with one stone. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like him. There's a lot of people that do like him. I don't care either way. I care about the story. I don't care about I do care about the characters. They're interesting, and different aliens and all that. They're cool. But I'm not going to sit there and fling my arms up and go, okay, fuck this. No, you guys are retarded. But anyway. Okay, let's get off. That's the Pork situation. Let's get off that for a while. Now, we're going to go to the Resistance. I do believe I had something else. Oh, no, let's push that away. Sorry. Let's go to the original trilogy. Okay, guys, you have to understand. The original trilogy was the original. Nothing could beat the original trilogy. I'm sorry. The new Star Wars, the prequels, the new Star Wars that's coming out is not going to beat the original trilogy. Given that in mind, Lucas tried to come up with something completely original but stayed with the storyline. That way there was no plot holes or like shit, I kind of ruined the canon and lore, so I would have to redo 4, 5, and 6 because I fucked up the lore. Lucas knew what he was doing with the prequels, and you saw how much hatred the prequels got. People really didn't understand that's how things were back then. You guys had to understand that. You know, it was the way the Jedi did things. The Council, it was real slow, and there was not a lot of action because the Sith were like, we're going to do shit in hiding. The Sith can't come out and go, hey, fuckers, I'm the Sith. I'm going to fuck your shit up and then start a big battle. No, they were smart. They were like, we're going to pull the rug from right underneath them. And they did. And, you know, I think that's why it was so boring, because there weren't any fights, any shootouts that much. It was mostly talking. And you guys have to understand that. Because the Sith ain't like take all action, and they pulled the rug, you know, they were in the shadows, pulled the rug from under them and go, bitch, we own everything now. You know, the Resistance are like, fuck that, I'm taking shit back. And that's why they were ruthless, and, you know, because they were taking shit back. It wasn't about that shit, you know, it wasn't about, you know, oh, I'm gonna be ruthless and shit with the Sith. Sith were like fucking twisted motherfucker, or I cussed. I am so sorry. Sorry, YouTube. But they were ruthless, man. They were pretty much, we're gonna do this from underneath y'all, and there ain't nothing you could do about it. So, with that said, the original trilogy, the reason why they kind of are doing this new Star Wars with the original trilogy formula is because it worked. It's, you know, they didn't want the same mistake as the prequels and say, we're going to do our own thing, but, you know, we're going to keep the canon lore and we're just going to keep it going. We're going to do our own thing, which is kind of like what the books and the comic books did. Sorry. But, you know, they looked at it as a formula. Lucas, I mean, come on, he made 6 films. The original and the prequels. The prequels were shit, the originals were good. So they're like, okay, let's stick to that formula. Let's stick to the formula of the original. You know, that's why Lucas Film said it's a rhyming thing. They're doing it on purposely, because the prequels and the original, you know, they were lore connected and it went smoothly, but they didn't rhyme with each other. You know, episode 1 didn't mirror A New Hope. Well, it kind of did, you know. Episode 2 didn't mirror episode 5. Episode 3 didn't mirror episode 6. You know, and it didn't have to, really. You know, so what they're trying to do is they're trying to mirror episode 4 to 7, 5 to 8, and probably 6 to 9. Because the formula of that worked. That's why, and I took a lot of notes and took out which scenes were fucking good. Sorry, I cussed again. I need to work on that. Because I know YouTube's age restricting stuff and all that. Sorry, guys. But that's the whole point to Star Wars. Was that it rhymes because, you know, it needs to mirror the original so that people liked it. Well, they didn't like it because it mirrored it. You know, they wanted something original. So really, it's the fans that really don't know what's going on or what they want. You know, they got something original with the prequels. They didn't like that. Okay, well, we'll just mirror the original trilogy. We'll just mirror that. That way you guys can get the same experience. No, they didn't want that. What do you want? We want original story. You guys didn't want the original story because we did that with the prequels and you guys hated it so damn much. Damn, building a dam. But, you know, it's come down to where, and even Rian Johnson knew. He wrote down everything that the fans wanted in this. And wrote it down and looked at it and probably said to himself, even if I did everything the people wanted, they're still going to hate this film, regardless of what I do with it. They hated The Force Awakens. They hated the prequels. So he probably took that piece of paper, threw it away, and go, you know what? If they're going to hate it anyway, I'm going to do it my way. His way was pretty good. I'm not going to say it's excellent. I'm not going to say, oh my God, it's so, oh yeah. But it is pretty good from a certain point of view. Yes, I've used that with Obi-Wan's, but you have to understand, it does make sense. If you go and watch the original 3, listen to Yoda, listen to Obi-Wan, you listen to them, and The Last Jedi actually makes sense. Like Obi-Wan says, from a certain point of view. Now, let's stick with the Resistance story for this. Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready for this? I don't think you are. But the Resistance story has a gap, a time gap. The reason why is because how in the hell did Snoke find their base? How in the hell did they get there so fast? Why were they leaving in such a hurry when they were celebrating? When it's supposed to be right after? There is a time gap. Because we're so focused on Rey and the Millennium Falcon, there had to been somewhat of a time gap. Because Kylo's all better. You know, he's got that scar, but it's all, you know, healing. He's obviously getting a little bit stronger. And everything else. Well, you look at the Resistance story, it's just so like, oh my God. Like, why? Why did this need to happen? Why are they showing that story so much? Why did they take it in a certain direction? Well, they kind of needed filler. I think Rian Johnson wrote Luke's story first. So then, when he wrote the Jedi and all that story first, he was sitting there going, okay, what do I need to do about the Resistance? Because he knows that a lot of people go there to see Luke and Rey and that whole mystery of things and Kylo. They don't care about the Resistance. You know, they kind of do, but then they don't. You know, you have to understand that point of view. Because a lot of flack I see is the way the Resistance was done, the Resistance story was done, and also it's mainly Luke. You know, they're so pissed off about Luke. I will get that to in a minute. Now, the one thing I do disagree with Rian Johnson is Poe Dameron's character. Okay, did he even watch The Force Awakens? I don't know if he did or not. But Poe Dameron in The Force Awakens was a courageous guy. He was a guy that, you know, told BB-8 in the first movie to get out of here. You got the map. Get out there with the map. You know, get out of here. You know, don't worry about me. I'm going to try to stall him. Because he knew that if he left with BB-8, then they would look for they would be looking for him. So he's like, fuck it, you know, or sorry. He said, screw it, and went in there. And also, if you watch Poe, you don't really know more about him, but he leads the fighters, and he's a damn good pilot. But the thing is, you don't see is his character, but you can kind of tell that his character is a kind person that cares about people and everything else, you know. In The Last Jedi, Poe is like an asshole, arrogant, we're gonna take this ship down no matter what. Come on, if The Force Awakens Poe wouldn't sit there and take everybody out on a suicide mission, you know, on a strong ship, losing almost all their squad. You know, even all the bombers are gone, you know. But I think that was needed for the story, you know. If they would have hyper jumped, they would have tracked it. And then, you know what, the tracking, the hyper jump tracking, that was in Rogue One. So he took one of Rogue One's idea and going, you know what, I'll just put that there, you know. which is fine. It's fine. You know, I don't mind it. That's actually takes a lot of, because I hated the hyper jump. I hated how hyper jump and they fucking and they get away. You know, they just boop get away, and it's like, oh, we can't follow them no more. And it's like, what? You know. I mean, that's just me. I hated the idea. I really did. I hated the idea of just jumping and, oh, we're going to get away. You know. So, and I dropped stuff. So, I hated that idea. So, this kind of adds a little element of, you can't get away from us no matter where you're going. I like that aspect. I do. But the whole Princess Leia thing, oh my God. We're going to talk about this, okay? I understand, and believe me, I do too, of Leia getting blown off, which I was along with everybody. Okay, this is how she's gonna be written off. She can get blown up in the cockpit, and somebody takes over. But Leia, of course, you guys have to understand. Between 6 and 7. Or 6, right in the middle when Luke left, or whatever. Leia was taught by Luke how to use the Force. Who knows what? She could have put a force field up around her when the blast happened. When she saw somebody firing, or they, you know, when it happened and she got sucked out, she could have put a force field around her and kind of just knocked out a little bit. You know, she was awakened with the Force. Her hand went out and she glided back into the ship. Now, this actually mirrors Luke's thing of reaching out with his hand to do stuff. And it mirrors Anakin doing the same thing of they can't use the Force with their minds yet. They have to use their hands to concentrate. Because it can clearly, you know, it's clearly that Jedis and Sith don't need their hands to move objects. They can use their mind. But when you do it with your hand, it actually makes you focus more. It's more apparent with Vader. Vader uses, when he was fighting with Luke in Empire Strikes Back, when he's ripping shit off the wall, he's holding his lightsaber and he's just standing there. And shit's just getting ripped out of the wall and hitting Luke. He's using his mind. He don't need to use his hands. Because in his hands, the Force is kind of shut off. You know, because it's all mechanical. It's not organic. So, when you go in that aspect, okay, it's silly. The way it looked with the CGI, and it did kind of remind you of Superman, you know, with out in space, floating like that, and then she's fine. She's in a coma, you know. Then you have this new captain, which, okay, I'm sorry. You know, I kind of like the captain, or the woman that takes charge. But if she would have told everybody what they were doing, I guarantee you that, you know, Poe wouldn't be making rash decisions. Why didn't, you know, Finn and what's her name, Rose, why didn't Finn and Rose go up to the captain and tell the captain that? Not Poe. Why tell Poe? That made no sense whatsoever. Why didn't they run to the captain and say, look, we know how they're tracking us, you know? And instead they go to Poe, you know. I mean, Poe would be like the last resort, you know. You would go to the captain, they said no. It's like, okay, let's go to Poe. Because Poe obviously don't give a shit, you know. So the whole casino thing, it was a touching story. But Rian Johnson did that on purpose. I don't believe he got the whole story or the new trilogy after the film. No. No. After he made the film. No. No. He set it up that way so it sets up for his new trilogy. You know, the whole casino thing, and of course at the end of the movie with the boy and the broom, that sets it up for the new trilogy. He knew what he was doing with that. He probably got permission from Disney. And then threw it out there and go, I just got permission after the movie was done. They thought it was cool and they want to give me a new trilogy. So I just said, yeah. No, they probably gave him he wanted to do a new trilogy, probably. So that's why he wrote the casino crap and the boy with the broom. Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. That makes no sense otherwise. But then when I heard he was doing a new trilogy, it's like, that's why he put that crap in there. That's why he put the whole casino thing and the boy with the broom. Is because he's getting a new trilogy to do his own thing. He's setting it up for himself. You know, because I guarantee when 9 comes around, the whole casino crap, the little boy crap, ain't going to make a difference. Because it's going to be in the new trilogy. With that said, okay, yeah, I don't like the casino route. It was just too... It wasn't Star Wars. You know, it was too comical. It was too... You know, we're going to go here and find this master coder, but, oh, we screwed up and we found this higher for bidder coder. You know, which, why do you tell a person that cares about money and a job, you know, doesn't care about the resistance, which he did point out that Finn and Rose were like, I hate that place. That place gives weapons to evil. And then of course DJ points out, hey, look, they give weapons to resistance too, so it's not about them being evil, it's just about they care about money. Money is where it's at. You know. And of course they get back and the whole thing was stupid. The whole damn thing. BB-8 is the only person on the resistance side that has done damage. Everybody else got caught and shit. BB-8's like in a little trash can. Hops into the AT-AT and starts destroying everything. BB-8's like, I'm done. I'm done with you guys. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to just destroy stuff. And that's how, you know, stuff was getting destroyed or whatnot. You know, it wasn't because of the resistance. Finn, Rose, Poe. I mean, Poe did... Well, the bombers took out the dreadnought. You know, but the thing is, BB-8 was so awesome that he took out... You know, he was sitting there lighting the whole base up because he was at that. You know, poo-poo, you know. BB-8 just had enough of that crap. No. You know. No. I'm tired of y'all. You know, if we could hear BB-8 talk, it would be so funny. You know, it'd be like, you guys put me in a trash can, left me, got caught, trusted information to a traitor that gave to the wrong people. Nah, I won't go in the ad. I'm going to blow stuff up. I'm going to end this. That's what BB-8 did, you know. It was cool. And of course, and then Poe's idea and Finn and Rose's idea just stalled the moment that they got on the transports and left. And of course, what's her name turned the ship around and hyperspace through the fleet and destroyed them, which was like, really? And I got to that base anyway. Now, I'm going to pause on that, and I'm going to come back to it at the end, like I said. We're going to do Luke and Rey. Yes, this is a long review, so, yeah. Get up and get snacks, or whatever, so. Here we go. Luke and Rey. Luke threw the lightsaber over, and everything else he's done, the grumpy, the leave me alone, I'm not training you, I'm not going back to the Resistance. Luke was kind of right about stuff. And let me tell you, through the whole time I watched the prequels and I watched the original, in my way, balance means balance. If you watch the prequels, the Jedi Council, there was crap a load of ton of Jedis. And there were only, what, 2 or 3 Siths? You know, that was about it. Was there balance? No, there was no balance. You know, the Force is about balance. Why would the Force care about light over darkness or darkness over light? It does not care. It cares about balance. So people's got to understand balance. This is why the whole Grey Jedi thing was born, was because they believed in balance. You know, using the dark and light side, not just using the light side. If you don't get seduced to the dark, if you don't go over to the dark side and become a dark side user, yes, it pretty much, you know, you're screwed and you're an idiot. But if you don't get seduced, then you're fine. So, a lot of people, I think a lot of people didn't like the Grey Jedi a lot, but that's like non-canon. But it does tie into The Last Jedi. Luke probably did the map thing because he wanted to look for the Jedi Temple. And a lot of people kind of missed the idea, and all the videos I watch, all the theories I read, is that Luke was doing this on purpose, or doing this, that. Well, if you look at Yoda, okay, and if you guys like, oh, it's mirroring Yoda, he's doing the same thing as, not exactly, he's not doing the same thing as Yoda. Yoda has been watching over Luke the same way Obi-Wan did, because they knew Luke would have been the hope. And Yoda even states that he's watched over Luke. He's watched this one grow up. And even gave pointers of, you know, him watching the sunset, thinking about a journey. You know, not about anything else. You know, cared about just having fun, having this journey, going on a journey, you know. Not about what's right and wrong in the galaxy and everything else. So, I mean, Yoda points it out perfectly. It does not mirror that. Luke wanted to be left alone. He wanted to die. Why? R2-D2 shut down, you know, and everything else, because trauma, I do believe it was trauma. But, you know, there was hope. You know, Luke probably said, I'm gonna go find the Jedi Temple, I'm gonna go meditate, I'm gonna be better person, I'm gonna try to fix this. When the time is right, you guys find me. You know, Rey found him. And, of course, she was a nobody. I think Luke was hoping Leia would come, or Han, or maybe he was hoping Kylo would come. I think he was hoping Kylo would come, and he would confront Kylo, and Kylo would kill him. Because he said, I came onto this island to die. And I think it's because he read the ancient Jedi texts a little bit, and saw where the old new, you know, they're new after this original Jedi text, but they're old in a sense of the film, you know. And sought that the Jedi and the Sith and everything was wrong, that it has to be a balance. And there was no balance at all. And Luke failed to see that. He failed to see the balance and to pass on what he learned. All he cared about was, you know, he has to start the Jedi Academy and everything else. And of course, again, Luke was like, I did a wrong thing to Ben, which, in my theory, he was twisted by Snoke. You know, Luke has tendencies toward the dark side. If you watch all through, either Yoda or Obi-Wan clearly states, I think it was Yoda, clearly states to him, Jedi does not use attack, only in defense. And if you actually watch, Luke is the one attacking first. You know, every confrontation he gets in, he lights the lightsaber up and attacks first. The only time I did not see him do is The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, of course, Luke didn't attack first. It was Kylo. But we'll get to that in a little bit. The thing is, everybody's like, oh, this ain't Luke. This is Luke that's like, oh my God, I did that to Ben. I did that to the whole Jedi Academy. I totally disobeyed the Force, you know. I wasn't there for the Force. I was there to bring people up. And there was no, at that time, there was no threat in the galaxy. But then, you know, Snoke thing was appearing, so. But I do believe that while Luke was looking in Kylo's mind in his sleep, I do believe Snoke was doing that on purpose. Snoke knew that Luke was looking in Kylo's mind. So he was twisting everything and putting visions there so Luke could see it. And Luke got afraid and ignited the lightsaber. And before Luke could turn off the lightsaber, Ben wakes up oddly. You know, he makes no noise besides the lightsaber and the humming. You know, and of course the light, but Ben was away from the light. So there was no way Ben would have woke up to any of that. Snoke probably did something to wake him up, and that's what he saw. You know, yeah, I do believe Snoke did that on purpose to turn Kylo more. After that, okay, after we get the whole grumpy thing, finally he was like, you know what, I'll train you. Yes, okay. So he teaches Rey. What's funny is it does mirror the Empire because of that whole well, if you want to call it a well, or it's like a hole, that's like part of the dark side. You know, she fell through, did the same thing as Luke did. You know, only what you take with you. You know, is to show your fears. You know, the thing is, Luke feared becoming Vader, becoming towards the dark side. Rey feared being alone. And it showed their fears to them. And of course, Snoke connecting them to, you know. And Luke was like, you could tell Luke was looking at her when she was doing the whole rock thing, and then taking the lightsaber and like not even cutting it but getting close. In his mind, he was looking at her going, oh, she's showing discipline. She's got discipline. She's not hitting the rock. She's not cutting the rock. She's showing discipline by stopping. Maybe she has promise. As soon as she cut that, Luke just kind of went, oh, never mind. You know, Luke was like, well, there goes my train of thought. Thank you, Rey, for showing me that you do not have, you know, have the will to stop. You just do it. And she was all happy. She was, haha, you know. And I don't blame Rey that much. I think it's Luke. I think it's everybody. Nobody is willing to tell her what the Force is, what's going on. All they're telling her is, oh, it's this, it's that, and that's it. And she's like, I'm still lost. Hello, I mean, Obi-Wan and Yoda taught more to Luke than Luke taught Rey. And that was because Luke was like, I'm done with the Jedi Order. I'm done with everything. Everything was a lie to me. Everything was told to me and a lie about the Jedi and the Sith, that the Force don't particularly belong to him. The Force needs to go neutral, meaning no Jedi, no Sith needs to exist. And I do agree with Luke to an extent. What if he just trains the Jedi to be a great Jedi, to walk in between? Meaning, don't interfere with stuff, but be watchers and watch over. And if there's a dark side user that pops up, try to bring him over and go, hey, you need to join this organization. You learn how to use the dark and the light. Same goes for the Jedi or the light users. You need to go with this and learn the light and the dark side, to be one with us. And to train them. And to not take them away from their families. I think that was a big no-no there. You don't take them away from their families. That's something just, I don't know. Never really understood. So, there's that. When Rey goes, Rey's already taken the books, from there, so she can read them. And leaves to go see Kylo. Kylo's like, she's trying to pull him towards it, which is like the Vader. He's the Vader of the new series, I guess. So, and it was funny how Luke was going to burn down the building, but Yoda knows. And Yoda's like, dude, you don't know the books are not there. Really? Because Luke has been disconnected from the Force, and there's a reason why Luke's been disconnected to the Force. Probably because of Snoke. He didn't want Snoke to find him. He didn't want anybody to find him. He just wanted to become, nothing. I don't think he wanted to become the Force. I mean, he knew how to. So when he came connected to the Force, Yoda appears, and he's like, oh, hey, Yoda and his stuff. And Yoda's like Rafiki of the series. He wants to take a stick and smack it against his head, going, you did not remember. Pass on and let you learn. And he didn't. He didn't pass on the way to learn the way. Rey. And everybody thought, oh, he's going to get the X-Wing up. If you look at the X-Wing, the wings are broken. It's beyond repair. Even if Luke brought it up, there's no way Luke could fix it. I mean, he ain't going to use the Force to fix the X-Wing. No. That's impossible. So he meditated and did an half-half. I read the theory about half and half, where it's a Force ghost, but not really, like he's still alive. So he stepped halfway, and then once he used up all of his energy, he's become a Force ghost, which is good for Rey and Kylo, because he's going to try to bring them together to create a new order to bring balance, possibly. So, and the whole fight sequence was great. I wish they would have clashed more, because Darth Vader and Obi-Wan clashed a little bit more. And I wish they would have, but he only did it to buy them time. He knew the Resistance needed to get out, so he did that, and it was perfect the way it was done. Kylo was all, and Rey was like the rock thing. I love the comedy. Going back, I love the comedy between Rey and Luke. The whole tickle the feather thing, that was funny, because it's just funny how they think. And of course the ending was like, the lightsaber is broken, which I do believe they might go back to Octu and buying maybe his gray, or his, not gray, his green lightsaber. Who knows? You know, I mean, there's lightsabers out there. I don't know if Vader destroyed Obi-Wan's. I don't know if Palpatine has his lightsaber. I think that's gone. Vader's lightsaber is somewhere. You have Obi-Wan's. You have the green lightsaber. We don't know where it's at. And you have... That's pretty much it. You know, who knows how or what's to become of 9. But my predictions is Luke's going to come back as the Force Ghost. Or is he? Or could, you know... Snoke's going to come back. Possibly as a Force Ghost. But I think that was a ploy. He's going to come back. Kylo and Rey might start a new organization together. Kylo has the right mindset, but it's to rule the galaxy, not to... It's like, no, you know, no. You know? And I don't believe... Rey's parents weren't answered in this one. Kylo either seen him, knows who the parents are, but that's what Rey is searching for. So he's like, you know what? Your parents are nothing. You need to come with me. You need to be with me, boo. You know, I think that's what it is. That's what it is. So of course, you know, they leave and it's like a happy ending. You see the boy with the broom that has Force sensitive. You know, it's a thing that people need to understand. First of all, it's just a movie. Second of all, J.J. Abrams is coming back, and it's going to be good. It's going to be all good. He's going to finish what he started in The Force Awakens. There's going to be a lot of stuff that will probably be touched on, and like J.J. Abrams said, it's going to take all the Star Wars combined in this film. He's combining the two. He's combining all of them. So, it's going to be the end of the era for the original series. The original series is going to end in 9 episodes. You know. The new trilogy is going to be somewhere else. It's going to be new characters and whatnot. And probably once that's done, you know, they'll come back and do Rey, maybe Rey or Kylo's. Who knows what will happen to them in 9, you know. And what's funny is they could potentially do a Luke Skywalker film. Possibly CGI Luke, you know. Or take Luke, or take Mark Hamill, but just kind of like do him younger, you know. CGI stuff and all that. Yeah, building the temple, Jedi temple, what he did this whole entire time, you know. Or possibly just make a game like Battlefront. Oh, I'm funny. But it's something, you know, there's other, you know, hopefully we get an Obi-Wan movie. That would be cool. To see an Obi-Wan movie. And possibly see the return of Darth Maul. Maybe we could see that too from Rebels. So that is my review. I didn't really touch on a lot, but I do feel like I went over necessary plot points. Yes, there was a lot of plot holes, but you guys have to remember Luke's reaction was the most genuine. I mean, if you're going to sit there and be lied to and read that everything you've been taught, everything you've been doing is a lie, and things might have went a different way, a better way, if you would have done it this way, don't you want to just give up and go, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. You know, y'all don't need me, y'all just need to figure out your own shit and go away, you know. I would be like, and I understand Mark Hamill's point of view, you know, that's Luke Skywalker. He'll find something, he'll fix it, you know, that's Luke. But then again, yeah. But guys, until next time, this is my extensive review of the Star Wars The Last Jedi. Thank you guys for listening, if you guys made it this long, and I will see you guys around. See ya.